Good afternoon, it's Amber, lives on the hill, and I'm just throwing together, carefully, a dried flower bouquet. I've got someone coming to pick it up, I don't know, maybe Monday. It's for an 18th birthday, and she wanted something that was going to last. So she likes pinks and natural colours and whites. So these are ones that are all grown last year and dried here in this very room on the string behind me. And so I'm just pulling apart a few bouquets I had that can be made into one bigger one, and I've got lots of material still underneath the table, so just doing that. This morning run some more flowers down to the bakery, and it's been really busy as usual, but I thought it's time now to do a October flower farm tour. So I'll finish this up and we'll go and have a look around the garden. Okay, wrapped. I got tissue paper, pink wrapping, pink bow, lots of pink. That looks all right. So we'll put that in here, and she can, whenever she's coming to pick that up, and leave that standing up like that. Right. Oh, the sun's out. It's been drizzling on and off, so we'll go and have a look what's happening. Roosters. Okay, everything's looking really nice at the moment. I actually mowed the lawn the other day. It's happening, it's coming, it's great. Finally got lots and lots and lots going on. Still not masses and masses of flowers, but certainly enough now that I can do mixed bouquets to go to the bakery. Damn rooster. And you know, when people order bouquets, I've got flowers, so I don't have to order anything in anymore, which is awesome. I do have an entire month of weddings in November. It's now the middle of October, but I've got a wedding every single weekend, so I'm probably going to have to order in, I'd say, roses. And there is one bigger weekend, big wedding where I'm not too sure, depending on what's going on out here, I may have to order in maybe some stuff, just depends. But certainly I'd say roses for these weddings, because they're just, look, the stems are better and they're easier. Garden roses are great, but you know, they're not always fabulous for bouquets. So we'll just see how things go. But let's have a look at what's happening here. There's lots to see. So as usual, things are a little, weedy in places. There is somewhere in here Canterbury bells. And the daffs are finished and the weeds are coming through, but it's okay. I've got Sweet William in here that's been producing, and there's actually seems to be more flowers than normal coming, and weeds, of course, and grass. That's very, very frustrating, but I don't let it stress me too much. But Sweet William, really handy biennial, but this patch just sort of keeps getting bigger each year, so I do add to it. The roosters are all just going for it today. My irises are, there's a little, ladybug just fell off. Irises have been opening up, and I've been taking these down the bakery, and these white ones are stunning. And then I've had yellow and white, which there's some more of those over there, and some purple ones, like a more bluey purple, and then this one's like a more sort of a burgundy purple, which there was one called Red Ember that I got that was new, and that must be it. In the pictures it looked way more burgundy, but that's where I put them, so I'm assuming that's those ones. So they've been really handy. I've just been doing straight bunches of those down the bakery now. Behind me I've got little patches of stock everywhere that are still coming, so there's some of that, and some corn cockle here, which is new for me this season. I always like to try something new, and there's actually one starting to bud up, so I'm quite excited to see that. There's a little ladybirdie thing. So I've got patches of this all over, and then a patch of cornflowers here, which has got buds. Nice to see some more ladybirds, and a little bit more stock here. Everything is just kind of everywhere. I've just been throwing things in as they're ready in spots that are free, so there's been no rhyme or reason. There's Mr. Rooster, where are you, you little bugger? You're so noisy. Hello, chickens. Hello, Rooster. You're enormous. So my husband's been very busy lately. This is the garden shed area. And in the past, this has just been an open bay. So Chook's in here. But this part here was like an open bay. And then he put in a floor. And then he's built the walls up and put the door on. And he built me a little planter box, which I've put things in. And then I've been finding large pots everywhere. Ignore these ones. I put pots in of things. So there's a hydrangea and a geum and some basil. And I've got sweet peas here and a bit of globe amaranth, some marigolds and some sunflowers. I've just been putting things around because I want it to look pretty, but this is great. You put in a really good floor. Ignore the mess in here. But he does things really industrial, so it's a fantastic floor. You move the table in here so that I can divide my tubers in here. There's a sink, which was in our house, but he'll hook that up so that I can have water. And then this shelving up here used to be in our kitchen. So it's quite a good little space. It's going to get really roasty in here in summer, but and one of these windows is broken because my cow stepped on it, but we'll get that fixed and we'll get it cleaned up and get it painted. And yeah, it's a really, really good space. So he's made it so that I can store all my tools. He put spots on the wall, and so it's really good. These boxes, of course, will go, but they're just left over from ordering flowers in, and I've used a huge amount of them to make more no-dig beds, so the cardboard's been really good. This patch is now full of dock. Dockweed's horrible. It has the longest taproot. It's awful to get out, but there was daffodils in here, and I'm just going to wait till the daffs die down and then I'll mow over it. But for the moment, we've got this old milk can in here because the chickens keep getting out. And then there's one, oh look, there are three eggs in there. She's been laying down there, and so we put the can there for her to lay into. You're all a bit naughty at the moment. I've got lots of status coming. I've got patches of that everywhere and a bit of dock in there, a bit of other bits and pieces. Patch of larkspur, which is budding up. It's nice. Got some billy buttons. I've never grown these either, and these are budding up as well. So they're a perennial. Probably should have put them somewhere better, but yeah, they're here. And some gadisha, a few patches of that happening as well. Roses are starting to bud up, which is nice. These are all a bit weedy. I need to get in around those. Anyway, it'll happen. What else have we got? Oh, now my anemones. Very short. These were plugs. There's a few long ones. These have been all right. Oh, that one's obviously gone. These have been okay for jam jar posies, which I tend to do a lot of for events. I'm hoping that these will be taller next season. So I'm just going to leave them here. Once they die back, I'll plant something over the top. But they can just stay in. And I've got a bit more corn cockle at the bottom there. And these two are new beds. And they're marigolds. The chickens have been walking over these a bit. And some of them have got a little bit, tiny bit frost blackened. But we really should be over the frost by now. But I think there was one night where there was almost a frost, so they didn't love it. But they're okay. My gigantic long raised bed. It's got some sunflowers down the end. Some of them are a bit wonky because they were in their trays for too long. And I couldn't plant them out because the weather wasn't quite warm enough. But I'll just leave them, see how they go. If not, they'll just come out. But that's fine. Some ranunculus here that I started from seed, which was a new thing for me this year. This one is glorious. Look at that colour. It's a bit short. I might just pick it and put it in the house, but that is so pretty. But I'll leave those corms in as well, and they can just come up each year. The other thing, of course, you can dig them up and store them and replant them, but they will multiply and they will get bigger. I'll show you some ranunculus I've got that have been in the ground for a few years. And they're really large now, so maybe that's the way to go. Just leave them there. And looking back across this way, roses coming along, more roses, more buds. And go Mine tend to flower later than everyone else's. Oh, look, here comes one. That's nice. But for some reason they seem to be a bit earlier. Usually like, you know, November roses, people down a bit lower than us because we're up about 400 meters above sea level. We're behind. I haven't noticed anyone's down in Balara or Yanar, but I don't know, mine are certainly coming. So that's good. My sweet peas have started flowering really well now. My structure's still not great, but the other day I spent ages tying them all up and in so I can get some straighter stems. But to be honest, I just really use the foliage. I've probably said it before, but I prefer the foliage. Love the flowers. I put them in the house, but I just cut big straight stems and put them in bouquets. But they're good. They're just so pretty. I think I'll always grow them even if I don't tend to use the flowers too much. Over here, there's ranunculus and weeds. It's horrible, but can't help it. It's just one of those things. These have been actually okay this year. Normally they don't. We just tend to have a hot day and then it does them in. But, you know, they're fine. They do what they do. I get a few. I didn't plant too many because I know that I just don't have great success with them, but maybe. Tulips, as you can see, they're all getting blown out. They're on the end. I've harvested lots, but there's still quite a few in. Lots of purple ones left. I'm just going to leave these bulbs in here and I'll plant something over the top, probably cosmos or something fairly shallow rooted. And then what comes up again next year will come up. Some of them may not flower. Some of the bulbs, like I pull the tulip by the bulb, like the whole thing, and some of the bulbs wouldn't come up, they'd snap off. So they're still in there. So that means that they'll probably grow foliage, but they most likely won't flower. But some of them will, because these ones, see, now that they've blown, like just get the heads off them. So what you want to do really is you don't want them to set seed. So, you know, you want to get them off so that they put all their energy back into the bulb. They probably could, yeah, I don't know whether they've started setting seed or not. I really don't know an awful lot about tulips, but we decided we really liked them. So next season I'll probably just buy a few more white and a few more pink. And just to sort of make up for the fact that I used a lot of those colours particularly. There's still some coming here in this side. These ones, a few here are still all right. They've opened a bit because today is sunny. They tend to close up. But there's a few more, there's a handful of green. This one here. So they're almost done. I've got some, this is drumstick scabiosa. I don't really know why I did this. I didn't really use it dried. You can't use it fresh. The little flowers, when they come, they're a little blue flower. They just fall apart. It's you grow them for the dried drumsticks. And as I said, didn't actually really use a lot of it. So I've only got this small patch, but that's okay. I had some honeywort in here, which is nearly finished, and some weeds, but I nearly cut all of that. Planted out some ranunculus. Oh, not ranunculus. What are these? Zinnias the other day. I can't remember which ones these ones are. The dogs walk over the beds and then they unearth them. And then I keep losing them. But anyway, so far they haven't been eaten by slugs or snails, which is good. Got more beds of marigolds, which are the African Savannah ones. They're a really nice, tall, straight stem. I loved those last year. I only had a handful. So I've grown a lot more, and I'm going to do more successions today. A little bit more stock and more Godesha and some more status, which I find really handy. This was last year's bed of status, which is full of weeds, but that's okay. I'll get in there at some point. The odd ranunculus pops up, and there's some nigella in the middle here too, some real fluffy. These weeds, it's really bad. It's quite embarrassing showing you all my weeds, but it is what it is. They'll be fine. The flowers are fine. They'll come up. And there's the odd bit of Godesha too. So much stuff just self-seeds. Godesha's one of those things. Of course, nigella too, which that's starting to bud up as well. Back up this way. My foxgloves are going to flower this year. Yay. So these ones were all put in last year. I was hoping they'd flower last spring, but they didn't. They just did the foliage the first year, and then they're now doing the flowers the second. This end is the Apricot Beauty one, so they're going to be this beautiful soft peachy, you can see a little bit there, soft peachy pink. They're so stunning. And this end there was a mix of more of the purpley sort of colours. I can't really remember, it was that long ago that I did them, but looking forward to those. Got more Gadesha. This bed always seems to end up with Gadesha in it, and tall grass. I really like it. It's a good fluffy pink thing that fills up a bouquet really well. So that's still on the way, but it's getting quite tall. It's hard to see really, but yeah, there's my foot, if it helps. A couple of, I've had some poppies going in here. There's still a few more to come. There was only a few Iceland poppies, and another little patch of stock. Stock's sort of everywhere. That's my penstemon at that end. It's looking very weedy at the moment. We did mow, and I haven't really got around to attacking all the edge of the beds yet. But, oh, now these are my ranunculus that were left in. These are huge, absolutely enormous. And I sort of haven't had the heart to put them in any bouquets because they just look so nice in the garden. And they're a bit sort of messy too. But they are so pretty. Just absolutely ginormous. And this is really pink. There's a slightly paler pink. And these are all really large too. Oh, look! There's a bee butt. That little guy there. And I think he might have died or he's asleep. I don't know, but he's stuck in there. Next to the ranunculus, we've got my perennial scabiosa. So there's the blue, that's the Fama variety, and then there's also a white one. And then there's small plants of that in here, along with weeds. But they'll be fine. Just need to weed in around here. But I'd like this whole bed to be filled with more of that. And we'll leave those ranunculus there. They can just keep doing their thing every year. But that's really good. I don't like the annual one anymore. It's just too fiddly. It's too tiny. It's just a tiny pop of colour in a bouquet, and you've got to keep deadheading it, which drives me batty. So this is the better one to go for the scabiosa, the Fama variety. This large bed next to all of that, zinnias and celosia that I've planted out just the other day. So we're going to have lots of zinnias. I've still got floret seeds that I bought extras last season under my husband's suggestion. He said they're going really, really well. Make sure you get extras. So I've got Golden Hour, I've got Little Flower Girl, and I've got Dawn Creek Peach. And I think I had some precious metals as well. So, yeah, plus the normal Benari and Oklahomas. So I've got some good ones. And I've got some of the seeds I saved from Floret too, which were just open pollinated. So we'll see what we'll get from those. And I do have some celosia from Floret as well. So this one's Summer Sherbet. And I have Vintage Rose and I have Sangria as well. So it should be good. Plus I have other varieties and celosia seed that I saved, which is super easy to save. So make sure you do that. So that'll be fun. Some snaps here and more status, of course. Keep going down my little patch of pansies. This is a bit of a whirlwind tour. I have been eaten like crazy. Get the odd one I'm able to pick, but because it's very weedy. But the stems are really long now. Like if I'm going to pick, I'll pick this one here. There we go. This is the stem. Look how long he is. A bit hard to tell. My arm's not long enough, but that's more than 30 centimetres long. Like it's crazy. I put some in jam jar posies the other day, but they're long enough to go in bouquets. If they'd only just stop getting munched by snails. But they're really good. I don't know whether it's helped having this grass around it and it's made them grow longer, or I don't know. But yeah, they're fabulous. All right, it's a bit of a mess here. There's a lot of self-sewn chocolate lace and this Ami, which people told me what this was last video, because I'm like, what is this? It's just sprung up. I can't remember. But I haven't sewn Ami for a couple of years, and now it's all just coming up everywhere. So that's really odd. But he's a opportunistic plant, so we'll use him. And there's a bit more of it there. It's got some nigella popping up, which this one's decided to flower. And my winged everlasting patch has gone crazy. This was a tiny weeny patch, and now it's gone ballistic. So that is really, really good. And my chocolate lace is just down the end here, which I managed to weed around a little bit the other day. Now that it's getting up taller, now that it's getting right up there, it's easier to see where it is and where it isn't. Before it was very much like, oh, I don't want to weed here, I'm going to rip out the wrong thing. So it's got up okay, so that's good. All right, so we made, I don't know if I've shown you these, we made some new beds. These ones here are extensions of, so more cardboard and more compost, and then this big square one, which I'm not sure what to put in here because it's very wide and I'm not really going to be able to reach across to the middle. I was thinking pumpkins, but then my husband said that they'll, take over all this area, and he's right. So for the moment it's spare. I'm not too sure about putting little seedlings in this end either at the moment, because the dogs tend to use this as a thoroughfare, so we'll think about it. But anyway, and I've got another big one over here that my husband did for me with the tractor, and then we built a raised bed on it. But I've got gladioli, and they're all just started coming through. So there's about 200 in there, I think, give or take. Some of them were a bit shriveled, so I had to toss them, but never grown them before. So I just thought I'd experiment with them and see how they go. Now beyond these new beds, there's a bit of amaranth, there's some lavandera, there is some Chinese forget-me-not in pink, there's some globe amaranth, which is getting eaten by snails. So what I'm going to do, I've got more started. I'm going to let it get a bit bigger in the pots and then plant it out at a later stage because they're just really loving it. Pipes, I put nasty slug and snail bait in, and this snail there is like on the outside of the pipe, not on the inside, but I put it in there so the dogs don't get it. But that helps. They do find it, but the dogs can't get to it. I find that the slug and snail bait, that's the dog friendly one, doesn't work, so you got to use the nasty stuff. Anyway, more marigolds, which some have been eaten in the middle there. We'll have to replace those, and a bit more lavandera at the end. The Chinese forget-me-not in blue. If you want a really blue flower, this is the one for you. It's really good. Just make sure when you harvest it that you do sear it. So whether you fire sear it or put it in hot water for 10 seconds and then back into the cold water, it's a bit of a floppy flower, but it helps having the searing thing going on, because otherwise it'll just flop on you. So salvia's coming along, and I get the white one and I get the purple one, and for the first time I got some pink, so that's nice. It is supposed to be a tricolour mix, but there's definitely less of the pink. There's another piece over there, but that's quite good as a spike flower. And next to that, I don't know what's in here, that's something. Bit of hot chili amaranth, some more marigolds, and then this one's got cosmos in it, which is, looks like the frost sort of got to that one a bit, and the snails have had a bit of a party there, but that's all right. This is corncockle, this bit here. All right, up this side here, another self-sown piece of ammi. Whether it's Visnaga or Ammi Majus, I have no idea, but anyway, produce some flowers would be great. I've got these fantastic king-size straw flowers, so thanks to Nicole that sent me these. This one's a weird one. Looks like a little alien. I've actually harvested quite a few of these, and I did have some that snapped off and blew, like in the wind. It blew them over because they were quite tall. But they're enormous. Look how big they are. They're a nice little colour too. And I've got some normal straw flowers coming here. They're not ready to harvest yet. They're still fairly closed. Plus they get quite a floppy stem at the top, so they're not really ready. And then there's some more that are a bit behind that, and some more again. So we've had successions of those, and there's more in the greenhouse too coming. So I want to have lots of those. Larkspur here is going really well. I've cut a little bit of this, like a tiny bit, and it's budding up. Everything is so close. Everything's just ready to be an absolute like colorway of things all through the garden. It's just so close. So there's some lovely mauves and pinks and things in here. Oh, here comes another pink one. So that's good. And what have we got here? Ah, snappies. So snapdragon, a small lot there, like next sort of succession coming. And then these ones are all budding up, and they're all quite tall. There's some shorter ones, but that's all right. They'll be coming afterwards. And there's that pretty pink, really, really pretty. There's some darker ones. And then there's another lot of short ones. And then up here is the lovely, I don't know what they're called, but it's that lovely rosy pink with the orange. So they're really, really nice. And then here we've got my penstemon, which has flowered like all through winter as well. It's been great. So that's a really good perennial to have if you're thinking of what can I have as a good perennial. And it comes in lots of different colours. And then some more feverfew, that's from last year. And some new feverfew. Can't wait for that to come. That's so handy as a fill. Plus I've got some nigella there too, looking over into my front garden. But look, bearded iris, and it smells, this one. I don't know what it is. It's got a really pretty scent. Yeah, it does. It's unusual. Anyway, back down this way, a bit more feverfew. Can't have enough of that, and it will spread too. So once you've got it, you've got it, but it's good. Another little patch of cornflowers, which I always swore I'd never grow again, but they are a handy little, just a little pop of colour. When I use them in bouquets, I'll use 3 flowers together. So I treat 3 flowers together as 1 flower, and it just makes a bit more of a statement. And they're sort of easier to use then, but they are a bit of a pain in the butt to harvest. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought they're a handy little wildflower, and people want these wildflower weddings. So they're a good one for that. But anyway, I got some more nigella coming, and another little patch of zinnias. In this crate, I put some snail bait under there, so hopefully, I think it's gone now, but that's my little snail trap. Down here I've got Rebecca, that was from last year, which is coming back. So hopefully that does well. And a patch of stock. Do you know the interesting thing? You get the singles and you get the doubles. So you get doubles and you get the nice proper doubles like these. I've found that, I know it's to do with the leaves, whether they're fused together or not fused together. And if they're fused together, you'll get the singles. I found that in July when my stock flowered, it was mostly all singles, but now I'm getting more fluffy ones. So I wonder whether the weather has something to do with it as well. I don't know, but I'm just finding that now they're just looking a lot better. But anyway, that's the sort of last of that there. And then there's some more zinnias going on. And then there's all this Persian cress, which is just self-seeding everywhere. But it's great. It's good in bouquets. It's got a fairly sturdy stem. So I just hack as much of that as I can. And I'm using it with the little flowers. I mean, you do grow it for the pods, which come next, and then you can dry it. But I'm finding to just hack this and use that. It's really sweet in a bouquet. All right, next aisle over, I've got celosia. So there's quite a few, there's the floret type ones in here, I think. But I put the celosia here because this is where it was last season. And there's a lot of it that's come up, self-seeded stuff. So without trying to disturb too much of that, I thought, no, we'll just leave that. Got a piece of self-seeded feverfew there, so we'll leave that as well. And then we've got Rebecca from last year. So it's very, like, nearly sticks. I'll cut all that down. I might have to do a bit more trimming, but it's all just coming back. So that's handy, because Rebecca is a little hard to germinate. That end, there's some more billy buttons and some herbs. What else have we got? Oh, my apple mint's been really good. That overwintered well. So, and it's spread a bit, which is okay, but I do use this in bouquets a lot. So while it's still looking really fresh, we're using all of that. And it's lovely to put herbs in bouquets because a lot of things don't smell. So having a bit of mint in it, it's really nice. Planted out some more zinnias there. Someone's knocked that one down. He's grown a bit sideways, but so far not too attacked by slugs and snails, which is good. This side, more self-sown Persian cress. These really tall bits. You've kind of got to cut it while you can, because it does end up blowing over unless you've got it netted, which I don't. Again, I was going to do nets this year, but I just haven't got around to that. And then I've got, well, this is Status that was in last year, which is coming back well. It's got the pretty blue one here. I think it's called Heavenly Blue. I really like that one. I planted some more cress in here. This is one piece here that's fallen down, but it's got short bits that are all growing upwards towards the sun, towards the light. But they're all right for jam jar posies, so I haven't pulled it out or anything. You just make use of what you've got. Waste not, want not. This bed here is entirely self-sown. There's all this lovely honeywort, which I've been using. It's a great fleshy thing, but it's also fabulous because it's like a piece of foliage as well. It's just those little tiny weeny bells of purple. And the this is California poppies that I didn't sow any of this. This has all just come back on its own, that orange, which surprisingly they're okay cut flowers. You wouldn't think so because they're quite squelchy. You do need to sear them, but they're kind of sweet, so I don't mind them. They can stay there. I don't like pulling things out. If they're there and if they turn up on their own, it's like, well, make the most of it. But the other thing that's popped up too is some more of that drumstick scabiosa. This is where this was last year, and there's some self-sown pieces, so that can stay as well. Another patch of Status and a bit more Nigella, and then some Bupleurum, which hasn't gone great for me. I don't know. We might try a bit more maybe. I might just scatter some around, but not having a huge luck with it, but we'll see what it does. And then there's some more chocolate lace. And over here is another self-sown bed. And this is more tricolour salvia, which is sort of, oh well, it can do its thing. And then I'll put something else in there. And I've got roses along this fence too, which are weedy looking. But, oh, there's a bud. So that's good. They're coming along as well. But that is the whole of the flower sort of patch at the moment. It's very green looking, but when you sort of get cutting and start marching around with a bucket, there's actually more in here than you realise. So that's quite good. It has been keeping me occupied. There's a few dahlia tubers that were floret from the Petite Floret mix. They're sort of singles. So I might cut one out of each of those. My sunflowers, as I said, quite wonky because they were in the greenhouse for a bit too long. But there's some other ones over there actually which have had a bit of a growth spurt. There's some ones that are looking better here. In the last couple of days they've got a little taller, so that's nice. Right, okay, so down in the paddock, my husband's moved his chairs and table here, which is really handy. Got another raised bed I made, which probably needs a bit of a weed around, but I got my sea holly in here, which is a perennial, never grown that before, so that was started from seed. And I bought some Alstromera and some Equinox, the globe thistle, so they're just there. And my Dusty Miller or Cineraria, this I grew from seed a couple of seasons ago, and that's also a perennial. So that's starting to get the nice bits with the little bud before they flower. I need to remember this is here and actually use it. I often forget. That's the trouble. My paddock's all ready now. This is going to be my dahlias again, so that's good. It's actually wider this time around. Hubby's fluffed all of that up for me with the tractor. But here we've got my peonies. So I had dahlias up this end last year, and now we've got these. Oh, there's about 80 peonies in here. So they were all bought wholesale and they went in the winter. My boys helped me with this. I just need to weed around the plants. I did mow the pathways just the other day. You can't really tell. It's grown already. But yeah, this is going to be glorious here. But the plan for the future is to just gradually have more and more peonies, whether they stretch this way or whether they just keep marching downwards. But we're just in a good spot for them. And I think in the future, when I can sort of physically do less, having more of a peony farm, perhaps just peonies in summer and dahlias, other way around, peonies in the spring and dahlias in the summer might be the way that it ends up going. It just depends. But I always change my mind with things, but this is going to be glorious. These won't be ready to flower for a few years, but yeah, that's future for those. My husband was very busy again. He built me this amazing raised bed. How clever is he? And the funny story about this, I was gone for about 2 hours and I came home and he'd built this. And it all because he couldn't find his shovel. We came down here to look for it. And then he saw this timber lying around, and then there was something else happened and something else happened. And then he ended up building this raised bed. So I kind of figured I just need to hide shovels everywhere I want a raised bed built, and then it'll just happen. Look at that. So anyway, I've sown some carrots in this end, so that will be fun. And there's some beans. This one's tipped over. Why have you done that? Beans in here, some lettuce I bought, and some capsicum. Why are you all looking so sad now? Anyway, they're in there. Oh no, that's capsicum. They're beans. They're not loving it for some reason. And a little tomato over there at the end that I bought. He's been sitting in the greenhouse. But I'm gonna put veggies all in here. And I've got some more veggies coming. These are zucchinis. There's way too many zucchini plants because they produce so many zucchinis. So we'll be flooded with those. But lots of them, and then some pumpkins. Every year I have, I'm getting closer to getting pumpkins. The first couple of years I've done them, my husband's taken the seedlings and put them in his veggie patch, and then because he's so busy, they sort of end up not getting looked after. Last year I had pumpkins and I put them down the bottom, and then they didn't get enough water. Plus we had a terrible season, but now they're up here and the tap is there. So maybe I might actually get plants with pumpkins. So I'm getting closer. So this is my year for pumpkins. Fingers crossed. But this has been the extra part that my husband's ploughed up for me. And below here, below where these vegetables are, that's wider there. So now I've got this wider bit. We have moved. Our puppy dogs are going to end up in a run, which is good. But this section here, so he's done all around this tree. And then there's a little bit of extra spot down there for me. So this will be a mix of flowers. I might put some corn up this end too. But I want to have lots of vegetables. I like being fairly self-sufficient. In my hoop house, we had a little disaster. It finally died. We had a really, really windy couple of days, and it was kind of broken. I'll open this up. It was kind of broken anyway, and the plastic was torn in places, and it wasn't an expensive one, and it finally, the metal struts all fell in. So I was sort of standing there on the phone to my husband, please come and save me because this is going to land on my plants. But we just ended up taking the plastic off. So it was a good experiment though to see what does and doesn't grow inside. I did get some early sunflowers. So these guys are getting close to blooming. He's fallen over. I did find that things with a spike grew really well indoors. They obviously were stretching up for the light. So my little pansies and violas and things there, they were growing quite tall. My larkspur grew tall rather than bushy, which is not what you want. So that wasn't great in here. But my stock, this stock is enormous. Like way, way bigger than the stock outside. So stock in a hoop house, good idea. He's quite sparse with his flowers, but that one's a lot better. But that was a good idea. And the snaps seem to like it, but now they've been blown over a bit, so they've gone a bit wonky. But that's okay. But I think we'll I do like having the hoop house to get things started a little earlier. But we'll just see But as I said, look, you know, he was cheap and he wasn't going to live forever. And that's what happened. All right, my greenhouses. It's been interesting having this new one to see it in compared to the old one. This is just a single layer of plastic. It was cheap. When I say cheap, it was $1,400. But I've moved everything out of here. This gets hot in here, and it's sort of a real hot, dry hot, and everything does dry out really quickly. Hot's not necessarily great compared to the other one. So this one, you can see the condensation here. Open up the doors. This bolt is up really high and I'm really short. This one, it's got, this is 2 layers of plastic and it's got corrugated plastic in the center, and it's very, very humid, which is, oh shit, it's quite warm in here. Should have come in here earlier. Woo! And luckily you can open up both doors, but it's just got these bolts and then you can hook the doors open, which is so much better. I've moved my shelves in here, but it's that humidity. So everything germinates really fast in here, and then just grows super, super fast, and everything needs a water. That hasn't loved it. These are some dahlia seedlings. They better get some water ASAP. I've got quite a few shelves in here that I've moved across from the other greenhouse, which has been good, but we've got lots going on. Some dahlias. I potted up some tubers. So this fella, he's quite large. Got Brianna going on there. So there's quite a few there. And I've got some seedlings, dahlia seedlings. Some more sweet peas, some Spencer varieties. That's a cup and saucer plant. There's some vegetables. Got some lettuce and some tomatoes. Some more snapdragons, some pumpkin. More straw flowers coming. Globe amaranth. English spinach. There's some of that lovely weeping amaranth. That's the green one. More snappies. Oh, these marigolds need a drink. They look very sad. Zinnias. Lovely dahlias coming. Better hook these open because they keep shutting. What else have we got going on in here? Pumpkin. More status. No more sowing status. That's enough. Bit of chamomile, because I like chamomile tea, so that's what that's going to be for. And I've got some more sunflowers, some called concockle, butternut pumpkins. I've planted some out, but I've started some Jap pumpkins, so I'll put those out as well. There's more straw flowers, more cosmos, cornflowers. What's this? Oh, this is Clarkia. I haven't grown that before, so that's a new one. Bit of celosia, more globe amaranth. A few more dahlias and some snappies that are getting a bit taller. So definitely needs a water in here. And I'm going to open up, hook this door open. Getting busy and then forgetting to open up my greenhouse. So you've got to remember, because you find that things that you've patiently grown from seed, then they just end up being destroyed. I'm going to go have a look at my cows. They're in the paddock next to me. My pets, there's Spencer. So I've got my house cow, Missy Moo, is due to calve. She's as big as a house. I've just moved them into this paddock. There's heaps of grass in here now, so they're happy. But she's enormous. It looks like she's got 4 in there, but you haven't had your calf yet, have you? There she is. How beautiful. Yeah. See, she's got a big belly. Yep. She's all embarrassed. Anyway, that's the flower farm in October. That's what's going on. It's pretty busy, as usual. Today I'm going to water in here. I kind of left it. Going to do some watering. And then I'm going to sow some more sunflowers, more successions of them because they're a one and done. I'm going to do, what else? More zinnias because I've made all this space on the table. So I'm going to do more zinnias, sunflowers, maybe some celosia, maybe some amaranth. We'll just see what else is around. There is one wedding. Haven't completely booked it yet, but March. I think she's February. But she wants sunflowers, so we'll make sure we do lots of successions of them. They are really handy for the bakery. People love sunflowers. Really, really easy. Good profit margin on them because they work out, I think it's about 20 cents a seed. And then you sell them for about $3 a stem. So nice, that's nice and easy. Yeah, so we're just going to get going with that. I want to do some more veggies, and I want to do another succession of beans. I think, I don't know if I bought any more seeds for vegetables, but it's handy. They're the bush beans, and they're really good because you just go out and pick what you want. Yeah, so just like vegetables straight out of the garden and on your dinner plate. There's nothing quite like it. Anyway, I will love you and leave you. Have a good weekend, rest of the week, all the rest of it. And we'll catch up with you next time.